It is an elusive but ever-present threat to anyone, anywhere who ventures beyond the familiar.
Being lost is a state of mind. You look around and any direction is as good as another.
In the wilderness, it is very easy to get lost. And once lost, it is even easier to die.
There's a high death rate of lost hikers out there who do not get found. They find them next spring.
This is the story of 4 strangers lost in the dense woods of Nova Scotia. They have no food, no water, no idea how to get out. With no gear and no survival skills, they have only each other to get through this ordeal alive. They call Nova Scotia the land of the lost. This island of dramatic landscapes off Canada's southeastern coast. Here, rugged coastline surrounds vast expanses of forest so thick that daylight often can't cut through the tree canopy. Once upon a time, people got lost in this terrain more than any other place in North America. Children wandering too far into their woodsy backyards. Hunters disoriented after chasing game. Hikers turned around on a trail loop.
For a lost person, almost invariably, this is the worst thing that's ever happened to them. They honestly believe that they're not going to survive the situation. They believe that they're going to die.
The characters, the circumstances, and the outcome of each account differ. But they all begin the same. A foray into the woods that turns terribly wrong. What happens in our heads when we become disoriented? What instincts do we humans have, if any, that can put us back on track? And what knowledge do we have that can get us out of the woods alive? In this program, we put 4 willing volunteers to the test as they experience what it's like to be lost and survive in the wild.
My name is Jonalyn. I'm originally from Virginia, and I'm a student, a grad student at Howard University.
I'm Chris Maxwell. I'm from Cape Cod, Massachusetts, and I'm president of a startup telephone company.
I'm Teresa Bennett. I'm from Sheridan, Arkansas. I'm a wife, mom, artist, personal trainer, preacher's wife, and short order cook.
I'm Sean Yaney. I'm from New Jersey, and I'm a graphic designer / balloon sculptor. What's your favorite color? Say red. Good.
Hi, I'm
Chris.
Teresa.
Nice
I'm
to
glad
meet
to meet you.
Chris, Teresa, Sean, and Jonalyn.
I'm Chris.
4
Nice to meet you.
brave strangers who have traveled to Halifax, Nova Scotia to embark on an adventure that is almost entirely unknown to them.
Where are you from?
Massachusetts, Cape Cod. Yeah. Where are you from?
Arkansas.
Oh. I'm doing this because of the adventure, and it's cool.
I'm ready. Let's go.
I'm the type of person that prejudges somebody in a heartbeat.
I'm more interested in how you start the fire.
I can do that.
To boil the
No
water.
problem.
Okay, good.
I can do that.
I can size you up. 90% of the time, I'm dead on. But I took it to heart that I was gonna have to deal with it.
They know they are about to be dropped in the woods with little food or water.
All right.
And they know they will have to fend for themselves. What they don't know is how, or who will be with them along the way.
Never been to Nova Scotia in my life. Don't really know what to expect. I know it's basic boreal forest, but boreal forest is anything but basic.
Cody Lundeen is a wilderness survival expert. If he looks hardy enough to survive any challenge, it's because he has a lifetime experience of living and teaching in the wild. He is the founder and director of the Aboriginal Living Skills School in Arizona that teaches students how to survive in the backcountry with little or no gear.
First thing with the scenario that we've got outlined is 4 people turned ass around in the woods with no idea where they're going.
The terrain is new to him, but the intention is the same as his living skills course. Teaching a group of lost hikers to survive with very little resources on them.
It's a wild card. The sky's the limit. Night's gonna be falling. The temperature's gonna drop a little bit. The humidity, it's real humid. That's gonna get their clothes wet. So I'm gonna be looking for, when I'm reconning this place, because I've never been here before either, a safe place to bed down with minimal stuff. They're not gonna have time to whip together a shelter.
After an hour, Cody's familiarized himself enough with the terrain.
I took my first in Nova Scotia just now, and I tell you, it's been a long time since I wiped my butt with sphagnum moss, and it is a treat.
How the coming days play out now will be mostly up to the group of lost hikers.
Being lost is a state of mind, not knowing which direction or how far to go to reach some familiar place. You look around and any direction is as good as another. Nova Scotia was described as the lost person capital of North America. It's very easy for people to end up in wilderness.
So who's getting nervous?
I'm getting anxious.
For this group of wilderness rookies, civilization stops here.
Y'all think something bad might happen?
It's Cody.
I think it may be. When we drove up upon this guy, standing barefoot in the middle of a rocky road,
Don't let him in the car.
I thought, oh geez, we are really in for it now.
Howdy ho.
Hi.
That went, oh brother, with the braids and the feet and the hat, I went, you're not leaving me with this character, no way. And I generally have a rule, don't trust anybody who doesn't wear shoes.
So you're the balloon guy, right?
Yep.
Nice to meet you. My name's Cody or Sean. Nice to meet you. So let's get away from the beast. Let's go sit over right by my pack over here and go over some stuff. I'm not here to bust your ass. I'm not here to do any of that bullshit that I hate reality shows. You all have to work together. That's what the point is working together to get needs met. It's not about pitting so-and-so against so-and-so. It's about coming together. Let me see what you got, and I want to see your pockets and the whole bit. John Lynn, how about you're up?
Just before setting out, Cody does a careful search of their bags.
Jeez, okay, let's open it up. Show me what you got.
Each participant can bring only what a typical day hiker would carry on a short trek in the woods in summertime Nova Scotia.
Mr. Sean? Paging Mr. Sean.
I got a deck of cards. You always need a deck of cards.
Pitch the cards. Probably the trick cards, too.
No, the regular
right?
cards. Really? We think I cheat in cards?
What you got?
1/2 liter of water, a sandwich lunch, and 1 additional clothing layer.
I got a sweatshirt.
Well, the tissue can be in that pile over there.
Come on, I also have allergies too.
Me too.
Everything else gets left behind.
This isn't gonna matter a whole bunch. Yeah, the only time that matters out here is that big glowing ball in the sky. You know what a buck snort is? You hold one nostril and you blow snot on the ground.
And I got what looks like toilet paper, but it's really disposable tape measure.
So now that we've got all our gear screened out, any last rites, so to speak? Any comments or questions? Far out. Okay, let's go on a hike.
It's 6 p.m. and 75 degrees Fahrenheit. Teresa, Chris, Jonalyn, and Sean are now day hikers, starring in a contrived but realistic scenario. One created to see just what happens when human nature meets Mother Nature.
Watch your step. With the horrific terrain being so wonderfully beautiful but wonderfully deadly at the same time, you're gonna lose your bearings real quick, and that's completely natural.
We have a lot of people in the woods. Canoers, hikers, picnickers. A lot of people who can potentially get turned around.
I have never been in the woods before, ever. When I was on the plane and you look down and you go, that's so pretty. And the other part, he goes, there's nothing anywhere.
We're walking southwest.
I don't like bugs or animals, except for the fuzzy, cuddly ones, and only from a distance.
The woods are kind of home to me, so I don't really have a lot of fear.
And you get the natural fears, like what if I get eaten alive? You know, or like get bitten by a bug and get some horrible disease, like elephantitis of the ears. And I don't want that. I get enough trouble as it is.
Cody's earlier scout of the area has given him an advantage over the participants who have never set foot in these woods. In this terrain, looks can be deceiving.
Look around you. What's out of the ordinary?
Not much.
Not much, huh? So it's going to mess with your mind.
Being lost in the woods can happen very easily because our primary method of knowing our environment is through vision. If we can't see very far, we can't use landmarks as a way of reorienting ourselves.
These hikers have already made their first, possibly fatal mistake, not notifying anyone of where they're headed.
Because no one's looking for you right now. And you're starting out to go out in the backcountry here, and guess what's happening to Mr. Sun? It's starting to drop.
Mm-hmm.
Is this a typical situation for Lost Day hikers?
Yeah.
It is. It is.
After they've trekked for an hour, the dense forest suddenly opens up onto a small river.
This is where we should live. Because I always wanted waterfront property.
What do you think? Pretty?
It's beautiful.
Where the hell are we? And how do we get out of here? Where's the best bet?
I think we'd just be best to go with the sun because it was pretty much on our right all the way in. If we kept it on our left and headed that way, if we made haste, we could probably get back out. Yeah, kind of that way.
You guys want to walk that way?
That's the way I would go.
Do you agree with that, or is that just what everyone else is saying?
No, I mean, I don't have any other ideas, but the sun makes sense to me, so.
Take him back?
What?
Let's go.
No,
All right. You want to lead? Teresa?
All right, I'll hold up the back again.
Okay.
When the adult first becomes lost, the tendency is to hurry up and find the right place. There's kind of a shock, or sort of a hurry up. They'll run around.
Don't worry about retracing. Let's just...
No, I'm just trying to look for the clearest way to get through it. Sometimes I get so involved in looking for that solution that maybe I didn't wait and find out what the problem really was. You know, I can sort of rush into things, and it might be good to step back and just look for a few minutes before I just charge right in.
Like, the best thing to do is just pick a target and walk to that target. All right, so that's the sun. Pick target, walk to it, then take another bearing.
Teresa moves too fast for the rest of the group, so Cody calls for a break.
What are you running for? You don't really know where you came in. You probably don't really know where you are. We all have a guess, but guessing's good for dead people and people that like to gamble.
It's kind of a sense of denial. I'm not really lost, especially with people who are somewhat ego involved in their ability to, to maneuver the woods and to navigate and that sort of thing.
Okay, you're lost right now. How about you?
I don't think I'm lost, but I'm not gonna...
You're a guy. He can't say. No. Are you temporarily disoriented?
Yeah, I'm temporarily, but I just recognize certain things.
Okay, are you lost or not?
Yeah, I'm lost.
Okay.
Survival doesn't really begin until you admit that you're lost. In Canada, it may take weeks of survival before you could reasonably expect that you're going to be found.
Teresa, Sean, Chris, and Jonalyn are deep in the woods of Nova Scotia with no idea how to get out. Nobody knows they're gone. Temperatures are dropping, and pitch black night is less than an hour away. For this group, the survival clock starts ticking down now. The survival rate of individuals lost in the wild like this group tells a sobering tale. Nearly all people exposed to hypothermia for 2 days are found dead.
So what should you do in a situation where you have very little light, very little training, almost no tools, and jacked for gear?
For the average person lost in the wild, finding shelter to maintain body heat is not the most obvious priority.
If you get disoriented in the woods, the statistics are very high that people don't make it, as in they croak.
Cody Lundeen scares it into his students every chance he gets.
Many people don't make it to the first night. That's your first line of defense, is trying to get to this first night. Right. Tomorrow doesn't matter because it's not here yet. There's a high death rate of lost hikers out there who do not get found. They find them next spring. It's called dying of exposure.
To maintain the precious body heat they're losing, the group first has to insulate the ground they'll be sleeping on, then construct a makeshift windshield, and finally, have to curl up against one another.
Okay, so lay down how you think you're gonna lay down tonight and see where the target area is. Let's see how modest you are. Get over here, baby.
I wasn't liking the situation, having to sleep on the ground, because I have a fear of spiders and bugs.
Standing up all night long?
Well, there's space for you here if you want.
Just in case she's up there standing all night long, we'll let her stand for now. Is this the bottom line?
That's why I was like, I'm going to sleep standing up by the tree, because I don't want anything crawling on me. That was my biggest fear.
You don't like bugs?
Can't stand them.
I don't see a whole bunch of bugs out here.
They come out at night.
I'm not seeing anything moving over here, Johnny.
Good.
So, you think you can stand up all night long?
Yeah.
If you want to join us, we're more than happy to have you join us.
You're gonna join us.
Can you help out with them in case you do lay down? Because you're probably going to want to lay down.
Hypothermia happens when our core body temperature drops below the normal 98.6 degrees. In the battle to prevent it, every second counts. A person whose core body temperature dips below 92 degrees will lose the mental and physical ability to help himself out of a bad situation. If it drops below 87 degrees, he will almost certainly die.
This right here is my kindling for the fire I'm gonna start later on.
Is that thing gonna fall on us?
No, it's not gonna fall on us.
As visibility drops, the group scrambles to prepare for the long night ahead.
Okay, where's my bag?
I have no idea. I don't even know where my sweatshirt is.
Okay, the time to find your stuff is now.
Once the blanket of darkness falls, wandering just feet from their camp into the maze of trees and branches presents great risk. It's a new moon, so the night in the forest is impenetrably black. Infrared cameras can cut through the darkness, but each person here is essentially blind until sunrise.
When it got dark, that was it. It was over. You weren't going anywhere. You weren't going to do anything. You couldn't do anything. You couldn't see. You couldn't see in front of you.
We haven't talked about going to the bathroom.
Yeah.
You're probably bound up now. If it's number 2, you're in deep doo-doo, pardon the pun.
The group hunkers down in their shelter. Even Jonalyn.
I'm like, well, something could still fall out the trees onto me, so I might as well sleep down on the ground with everybody else.
They are 4 strangers thrown together in pitch darkness with nowhere to go. And nothing to do but wait out the night and fend off the relentless mosquitoes.
Do you realize we haven't even been out here a whole day yet?
I know, we've been here like...
It seems like it, but it hasn't even been a whole day. It hasn't even been a half a day.
Wait till tomorrow night. And the night after tomorrow night.
I want to like rock climb. Are we gonna rock climb?
There'll be no rock climbing on this group's activity schedule tonight, or anytime. Instead, the hours tick by slowly. By 3 a.m., air temperatures have dropped to an uncomfortable 60 degrees. Cold enough to make sleeping difficult, but not so much that it drives away mosquitoes.
It's definitely gotten noticeably colder out here, a little bit chilly. Bugs are nailing them pretty good. They should probably start throughout the night to get even closer together.
Inevitably, the dead of night chill is reducing their core body temperature. Thermal camera footage shows that the little skin they have exposed is losing heat, a sign that hypothermia is a dangerous possibility. Cody urges the group to move around to generate internal heat. Rock climbing it isn't, but it does heat up their core body temperature.
I was ready to give up after the first night. I was ready to be like, okay, this isn't worth it. I'm going to tell them tomorrow that I want to go home. Take me home now.
It's been a difficult night in the woods for this group of lost hikers. And the first light of day doesn't exactly bring renewed hope.
Well, I've been up since 9 o'clock last night with nothing but my thoughts about why I came here. And, I don't know. I'm like miserable right now.
I would say the hardest part of the experience was not being able to escape the cold. I woke up shivering. The desperation in it, in what I felt, you could see in me trying to start a fire, you know, with a stick and wood, which is so incredibly difficult to do, but I was so cold. I was like, you know, trying to start something.
You don't have anything. You know, you don't have any metal knife. You have like a broken beer bottle over there. You're completely green for the most part, and you want to come out here and make fire with sticks. That's not reality. That's not reality. You're still here. You're slightly hypothermic, but you're still here. And many people are not here. They're dead. That's a plus, right? You're not dead. You may wish you were, but you're not. They're not circling the drain, but they will be if they go through another night like they did last night. This is a short-term survival situation. They have very limited stuff. If they don't get out of it, they're dead.
But for these novices, finding their own way out is no longer an option.
The terrain here in Nova Scotia is pretty daunting. The longer you stray, you know, the longer you may pay, because you're going to be harder and harder to find walking off back in this bush. Because they're already lost, no sense getting more lost.
The group decides to dig in. It's the difficult but right decision. Anyone turned around in the vast wilderness of Nova Scotia should stay put. For Teresa, Sean, Chris, and Jonalyn, the challenge is no longer finding their way out, but surviving the coming days and nights until someone finds them.
Everyone's against the clock out here. And the clock, if you're out here long enough and you don't know what you're doing, you're gonna die.
It's 9 a.m. on their second day out. They've had no sleep and nothing to eat or drink in over 12 hours. The little food and water they have left, they are hoarding. As the sun rises higher, air temperatures are quickly rising and they have no other source of disinfected water to stave off dehydration.
You know,
I'm hungry, I'm a little hot. You know, when you raise the issue about the sun, I'm concerned about where we're going to be in 2 hours. Right here, it's going to be pretty hot.
Okay, so how do you feel? How much water do y'all have?
I got a bottle of water.
A bottle.
Bottle.
One bottle full?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
And a can of Coke.
The lack of food and sleep is already taking its toll,
Everyone's got a pop can, right?
clouding their judgment on what basic needs are most important.
What are you going to feel like at 7 p.m. with a piddly pint of water to drink all day long?
I'll be fine.
I'll be fine. And a Coke.
I'll be fine. I
You'll
don't
be
know about
fine,
them,
right?
but I'll be fine.
So you're okay just to hell with the water, you'll just plow on through,
I'm
right?
not plowing through.
Build the
But
fire.
I'm gonna. My plan is to just
Accomplish both.
focus on
building what we need, the structure, and when I need to take a break and take a drink of water, I will. And if I need to rest for an hour and take a power nap, I will.
Okay.
But if you ask me what my priority is, I would think rather than looking for a space any longer is getting something substantial so that when it comes down to 3 hours of sunlight, we don't have to worry.
Right.
We're okay.
So what's your first priority now?
Is to utilize the sunlight.
Right. And why do you say fire?
Fire, so we can, if we get this cleared, we can get the fire going, we can get water boiling, and while that's happening, we can work on the shelter.
Yeah.
Until now, Cody has stayed back. But decisions at this point will determine if they live through the next 48 hours.
What's happening here is you're falling apart largely because you didn't get any sleep last night. 2, you're dehydrated, and it's only going to get worse. I'm telling you, water is key out here. Okay, and you don't have very much. Well, let's go get some water.
200 yards through the woods is the creek they located the day before. The water's a life-saving asset, but they'll have to disinfect what they collect before they take even one sip.
As good as it looks, it's not the stuff that you can see that's going to make you sick. It's the little teeny stuff you can't see. Viruses, bacteria, protozoa, parasites.
Right here, isn't it?
So a la some slob. It used to be garbage up until 2 days ago, right? Now it's called an opportunity. So you might want to clean this out if it holds water, which this seems like it's going to hold water. It just made your job a lot easier.
Next task, building a fire to boil the water. Cody puts the group to work.
So we just need to clear an area. It's
Without
nice,
Cody,
and basically,
we would still be walking around the woods, and we'd still be fighting with each other.
even this green stuff is going to burn if it has enough heat.
We did listen to Cody, and I'm damn glad we did.
So we have oxygen, we have fuel, and we have ignition or heat. So right now, all I want you to think about is the fuel and the oxygen. That's the building, that's the putting the sticks in place part. We do not need a huge cowboy white man fire out here, you know. We just need something to get our needs met. The less heat you're dealing with, the smaller and the drier your fuel needs to be. So that tinder needs to be the best stuff you got. Let's see how dry this is. See that bend before it breaks? Right. There's a lot of moisture in it. Kindling goes on top of that. Fire likes chaos, so you're doing great so far.
Create a little chaos.
So if all your sticks are jammed together and too tight, you die. If they're too far apart, you die.
Before they become more dehydrated, Cody decides to speed things up by giving the group one ignition source.
One paper match. And paper matches suck. Here's how you split a paper match. Come down here, work it down, and pop that head in two. Okay, so there's your 2 matches. One's a little bit thicker, and one is the death match. You have 1 match. If you don't get this thing lit, then you guys don't drink right now. Is that any guarantee you're gonna make a fire? No. I can't offer you any guarantees. Anyone that does is a liar or a fool.
This makes me just a little nervous. Jeez. All right, are we ready?
Look at that, it even smells good.
Fire divas!
Just bring it to a rolling boil, and it's good to go.
And then figure out how to...
This is your water generator. So someone should always be on the baby, this fire, and someone should always be producing water.
In the time it takes to strike half a match, their situation drastically improves.
Let's get the cans and go down the river. Since
That's good stuff.
You've earned that drink.
Oh.
All right, ready?
Newly fortified by the water, Chris and Sean tackle shelter building.
This is gonna be perfect. So what we're gonna do is stack trees all the way up. It's kind of like a teepee, a wooden cabin teepee. With the fire there, it's gonna be perfect. So much better than last night. Oh my God.
From chaos to order. That's what this is all about.
Let me see, let me borrow this right here.
Chaos to order. Now when it falls down and kills us in the middle of the night, then we'll be on a whole nother level I don't want to discuss.
The division of labor is pretty typical. Usually the guys tackle the bigger stuff just because they do, and they like pushing over trees and whatnot, breaking shit like that. And the women in this case are tackling the fire. So the men are playing with big sticks and the women are playing with smaller sticks. And whatever works, as long as the job gets done, that's what matters, because both tribes now are working for the common good of all, and that's the main thing. Basically, they're getting their needs met, okay? Their main complaint was bugs and colds. They're dealing with the shelter to prevent the cold and the bugs, and we're keeping them hydrated up so they have the strength and energy to build the shelter to deal with another night with minimal food or no food. I think their situation is still deadly, obviously. They could get injured dragging around the trees. Anything goes when you're out in the backcountry, so it's still a wild card.
The lost hikers have prepared all day for their second night in the wilds of Nova Scotia.
Exponentially, the nights got longer and longer and longer.
Temperatures dipped to the low 50s. The cold is dangerously penetrating, making it warmer by the fire than inside their shelter.
We were put in spots where things could have went either way, big time. And we all sort of pulled each other back into the circle when we would bounce out. And we were strangers.
If we didn't have this fire, it would be a close call.
I could feel some of that panic people have got to feel when they're lost like that.
It's now been almost 3 days since Teresa, Sean, Chris, and Jonalyn first got lost in these woods. The only rest the group is getting comes in rare, quick naps. Sleep deprivation is wearing on everyone. The mere sight of a spider puts Jonalyn over the edge.
Oh, Jesus! Oh, it's another one. Ah.
They're healthy.
It's like the same color as the damn,
Where is it?
He's the same exact color as the bark. He's up there somewhere. He went in. I'm not sleeping in this damn night. Oh, no.
As they move toward day 3 of the ordeal, thoughts of home are tantalizing but torturous.
What's the first thing you're gonna do when you come out of here?
I'll call my husband. Yeah. Then food.
I'm very bored. I'm used to spending time by myself and finding things to do, but this is like ridiculous. There's like nothing to do. No computers, no internet, so I don't know what I'm supposed to be doing. At least I wish we were doing something recreational. I thought there'd be a lot more of that. I was hoping for a lot more of that. But now that we've made our home and we have our wood for a fire, you know, is there something, I wish we could do something else, like rock climb or something, yeah.
One of them might be bored, but they're bored and alive, you know, and I consider that's a plus. The bottom line is, even if you're miserable, it's the party on attitude, you know, it's a will to live. You're ultimately responsible for your own fate.
There was a voice that was saying, quit now, and then there's another voice that says, wait another 10 minutes and see how the things go. And just not wanting to really give up.
The group's food supply is now gone. But in a short-term survival situation like this one, food is not a priority. More important is conserving body fuel, so Cody encourages only low-energy foraging techniques.
You don't want to go running for a mile after a grasshopper. There might be some larvae or some ants or whatever we can find in the woods. These bad boys, I'd recommend you kill them first, or they'll kill you. And just kind of crush them up, roll them up, and eat them like a sweet tart. A little bit of garlic.
Look at all of these eggs. There we go. We got the mother load here. These ones are sour. We got lemon lime ants. This is why I don't like eating these things, because they bite you back.
As the day drags on, the group falls into an almost comfortable routine of meeting basic needs.
That camp was our life. It was just us and living and getting out of it. And the more we wanted to get out of it, the more we got into it.
More than 48 hours in, Jonalyn still refuses to drink the disinfected creek water, creating tension in the group.
Jonalyn is driving me nuts because she doesn't want to drink anything, and she's going to get sick, and she doesn't want to eat anything, and she's being stubborn, and I'm trying to talk to her, but it's not working, and I'm getting angry, and we're going to have to tie her down and force drink her because she's useless to us if she gets sick.
I wasn't really comfortable with the idea of drinking the creek water. I just wasn't comfortable even boiling it, as in I need to see it in a Polar Springs bottle.
They are sleep and food deprived with nerves on edge and no sense of when and if help will come.
If it rains, I don't know about you guys, but honestly, I don't know what the hell's gonna happen. If we lose our fire and if it rains and it gets cold, we're gonna get sick.
I was hoping that the rescue team would come. An hour would come by, and then they didn't come. Another hour would go by, and they didn't come. Those moments were pretty bad.
Hello, Mike Murray, Halifax Regional Search and Rescue.
Mike Murray is search director for the Halifax Regional Search and Rescue Team.
Give me some information on that, please.
The call is from the Royal Canadian Mounted Police.
Tim, what's your phone number?
A local hotel has just reported 4 guests long overdue from a hike.
Good. Can you also contact the dog team, Garrison?
Within 20 minutes of Mike sounding the alarm, an army of searchers mobilizes. Today, the all-volunteer Halifax Search and Rescue organization that Mike Murray oversees is world-renowned for the scientific approach it takes to search and rescue.
Ready? Go.
But Halifax Search and Rescue wasn't always this sophisticated. In July of 1986, 10-year-old Andy Warburton walked into the woods behind his relative's house near Halifax. He was on his way to meet friends at a lake for an afternoon of swimming. Two hours later, he still hadn't shown up at the lake. Neighbors had seen him enter the woods, but nobody had seen him come out. Andy's parents alerted the police.
300 volunteers are searching for 10-year-old Andrew Warburton.
Halifax Search and Rescue mobilized and the hunt for the lost boy got underway.
Close to 100 searchers from the Emergency Measures Organization, volunteer fire departments, and the local community have been combing the woods in Beaverbank for the past 24 hours. They're looking for 10-year-old Andrew Warburton. He was last seen at 3:30 yesterday wearing a bathing suit and sneakers.
Across the province, the alert for a missing child in the woods touched off an immediate response.
I drove down to the scene. When I arrived, I found the Mountie who had called me and took me over to the status map that they were using to plan the search with. And he said, "Oh, now can you point to some places on the map where we should be searching for him?" I was just so completely confused and without any knowledge about where a child would go, a lost child. that I just couldn't answer him, and I just felt so humble. I just went out and joined one of the search teams.
The search in the woods continued for days. The longer the boy stayed lost, the bigger the search effort grew. More than 6,000 people, including the Canadian Army, came out to help find the boy. It was the largest search ever in Nova Scotia history. For over a week, team after team combed the dense woods. On the 8th day, the search came to an abrupt end.
I'd like to inform you that momentarily ago, the searchers found the body of Andrew, and we're presently bringing it out.
He was found a little over 2 miles from the point last seen. He died of hypothermia, and where he had been found, there had been no ground searchers in that area. And after the search, people were saying, well, he traveled so far. We had no idea that a child could go so far away from the point last seen. We had no way of knowing, is the phrase that sticks in my mind. We had no way of knowing that a child that age could travel that far.
Moved to action by the tragedy, Professor Hill started examining data on lost people. There was very little information available, but what was there shocked him.
And I was dumbstruck when I saw that the average distance for a child of that age was 2 miles. So all this time, we had the data available to us. We could have gone to the data and said, and asked, how far will a child like this go when they're lost? The average is 2 miles. So instead of searching around the point last seen and wasting all of that effort, we could have been searching sooner in a more probable area.
For almost 20 years, Ken Hill has been gathering and analyzing data about lost person behavior. The result is a valuable scientific tool predicting how far and where a lost person might travel based on their age and the activity they were involved in when they got lost. The Halifax Search and Rescue team now claims that if they knew then what they do today, they could have found Andy Warburton alive within 24 hours.
Get some more information, whether or not they smoke.
Today, Ken Hill has compiled scientific data for all ages and all types of lost people.
There are four people, 2 men and 2 women. Tentatively, we've given them the hiker category in terms of how they'll act and how far they'll travel. They could be cold, but again, they're together. They very likely will take steps to warm themselves up.
We know that hikers tend to stay on trails to start with anyways, so that being the starting point, see if we can get to where they may have gone into the woods. They've already secured the car. There's police tape around there. One of the first things we're going to do is get the police dog in there to see if they can pick up a trail.
And the dog has picked up a track, and we're going from there.
Roger, we copy.
I'd like to see the beginning searchers, those first high priority areas, that those searchers are out and gone within the next, well, actually 45 minutes.
So we've got 4 of them, 2 men, 2 women.
We have good reason to believe they went east on that road there. The dog team has picked up some indications that somebody has been through there. So these are the 4 individuals: Chris Maxwell, Teresa Bennett, Sean Yaney, and Jonalyn Holland.
This evening, increasing cloudiness overnight.
What happens when they first become lost is they usually panic. They'll run a little bit, and then they slow down. And when they start to slow down, then we're able to catch up to them. And that's what we hope to do tonight.
Great, thank you.
Halifax Base, Team 4.
Team 4, Halifax Base, go ahead.
Yeah, George, we're just calling to let you know that we've come across a fresh sign. It's a track. We're going to flag it, and we're going to continue on. Starting to lose the light. Lots of movement through the grass.
Howard, it looks like we have some broken vegetation up here.
Yeah, great. That's a good sign.
On both sides.
No, it looks like they're still sticking to the trail. Oh, it's gonna be dark soon. We don't stop because it gets dark. Darkness usually is an ally for us because it makes the lost subject slow down, and we're able to maintain the speed that we're tracking them at. We are trained to search at night. Probably 50% of the training that we do is nighttime-based training.
After 4 hours of searching in the dark, Howard's team heads back to base as another team takes over. This team handoff continues on throughout the night, but the lost hikers are nowhere to be found. Deep in the woods, the participants have no idea of the search underway. It's their third night out, and rain is imminent.
Are we gonna lose this fire, or are we gonna be able to?
It depends on how much rain comes down.
Do we need to build, if it starts to rain, do we need to put some heavy-duty stuff on it?
Yeah, I'd build it up.
It's gonna rain, I felt it.
Daylight breaks over the Nova Scotia woods, where a group of hikers remains lost. The rain and cold heightens the urgency of the situation. Howard West's search and rescue team heads back into the woods.
Sight for sore eyes. How you doing?
How are you?
Good.
Hello.
We're the Halifax Regional Search and Rescue.
All right, we got 4 of us. We're all fine. A little wet, but okay.
Halifax base, Team 4. We have physical contact. The 4 subjects are doing well. 2 have the shivers. They're starting a little bit cold.
We have a find, and we are at this time awaiting your coordinates. Go ahead.
They're amazingly great. They've got a really good shelter they built here. Their spirits are all high. I think they're just waiting to get out of here.
I'm so good right now. This is wonderful.
Cody was like the beacon. He let us know that we did have it within ourselves to make it through the situation. He was the saving grace.
You can lead a horse to water, but you can't make him drink. So regardless of the mentor factor, these are the people that save themselves.
The experience was amazing. This was it. This was our moment.
It's up in the top 5 of the worst experiences that I've ever had.
I feel like I've been initiated. In a couple of years, when we bring my son out there, I bet you that little fort we made is going to be standing, and he's going to appreciate it.
I'm not sure what I expected, really. I thought I could do this, and I could.
Like Cody said, what doesn't kill me makes me stronger.